hopefully today we can continue to stay alive to the best of our abilities and see if we can't make this slightly unorthodox run. Kinda do some numbers. But of course, who knows what the dungeon has in store for us, so without further ado, let's just get ready to hop back in with, right, raising up the carver over here. Fantastic. So I do believe we were just exploring our way through Lair. We have to be a little bit careful when doing so, because Fanar is still hanging out somewhere along the journey there. But we'll probably be heading back down that direction. I guess we do have work available as well, so we could pivot there. Potentially even hope that we find a better sword, because we're still walking around with just this +1 longsword, so not exactly ideal by any stretch. Currently training shields makes sense, I guess, with the tower shield in our hand. Should probably have something else kind of actively going on here, because that will take a long time to get up to a reasonable level. And in fact, maybe we'll keep it on in the background slightly longer than originally planned. We'll see how bringing that to 15 goes, shall we? 10 invo almost brings us up to pretty solid ability to cast all of our god-given actions here, but we'll go slightly higher just to try and bring that divine exegesis down to a 0% chance to fail. Wouldn't that be lovely? And with all of that sorted, I think, without further ado, let's just hop back into the swing of things, shall we? We'll start by heading towards Lair. Okay, I do think this is one of the safer spots to go down. That one not at all, and this also not too bad. So it looks like the one stairwell I was trying to find, unfortunately, is a trapdoor down this direction, but that is a-okay. So we'll just hope that Fanar doesn't peek their head in. And we do manage to get a little bit lucky there, so that's fantastic. And okie dokie. The hardest part of these runs is always when we come back in after a long break. Definitely always have concerns that I'm going to forget how to properly play them. In this case, I actually want to bring you forward, and let's try to cure you nice and early into the fight so we don't have to wait out your berserk and just cross our fingers and hope that everything shakes out. Garden Spirit, no thank you. Hey Repo, first time catching me live, this is exciting. Well, welcome. Nice to see you, I do recognize the name. But I hope things are going well for you, and hopefully we'll have a half-decent showing today, but no promises. It is still me piloting the character, so stupidity abounds, for better or for worse, and usually the latter. But as long as we can get back into the swing of things without too many terrifying things happening. Probably shouldn't have slashed at this Hydra as many times as I did before kind of checking myself there, but that's fine. 17% chance to charm you is not exactly gonna do the trick. Could just read a fear. We have no teleport scrolls. That's something I probably should have been fully cognitive of before we found ourselves in this situation. It's bad how much my brain just wants me to spam that tab key a few times. You know, cross your fingers. I'm sure it'll work out. We'll kill the Hydra before they get too much of an opportunity to ruin our entire lives. How could it possibly go wrong? Yeah, even stepping away is a bit too much of a danger proposition here, so maybe it's a good time to take a peek into our barrel of tricks here and see if there's anything that might get us through here in one piece. Could try out Dragon's Call. Have a little bit more magic this time around, though still not too much by any stretch. So if I divine, fail to use my ability. Let's try that again. Okay, so Dragon Call is out, and I get a golden dragon right away. Okay. Well, we're definitely going to hang out here for a bit. Holy moly. That is quite the army that we can bring to bear here, especially this early on. Oh, we are going to burn down the entire forest, but maybe that's not the end of the world. Holy. You know, fear, I think, was my backup plan as well. It was my only plan until trying that out, and now we're going to be irreversibly obsessed with calling in dragon friends. Is it worth it against a single 8-headed Hydra? I mean, eventually, not even eventually, pretty quickly, we'll run out of the PD we need to continue spamming this. So probably shouldn't abuse it too much, especially in a situation like this. Best thing to do is generally just walk the other direction. Let's not get too fancy with it. And we will just head this way. In fact, we can bring you into a pitfall and send you downstairs. That is lovely. Hey Dennis, Dragon's Call is your favorite. I still don't think I've ever really cast it. So that was my first introduction to it, and I can definitely see why so many people view it in a similar light to you there. Very powerful indeed, especially having it this early. I guess normally it'd be pretty special case that we'd have our level 9 spell up at this stage in the game, but I've never really taken advantage, or at least not full advantage, of Sif Muna's Divine Exegesis in the kind of mid-game section. Because if we can just bring those dragons in anytime an opportunity threatens us, then we're probably in a pretty good spot, all things considered. But for the time being here, let us get the heck out of Dodge, shall we? Whoopsie daisies, let's not go that direction. That one's going to be a little bit safer for us there. Fantastic. And I think what we'll do is we will head to Orc here and just see, you know, take a peek. See how things are feeling and looking down this direction. +4 falchion of freezing. I can't imagine that's too much better than our current weapon, but could be wrong. 19 damage rating, +6 accuracy altogether, versus our 20 with a +2. And it attacks slightly faster as well. Might actually want to swap over to that for now. The Cold Brand isn't going to be doing anything too special at this point in time. In fact, unfortunately, we did not get snakes, so we're not going to be able to abuse the Cold Brand to our heart's content. But that should be generally okay. I'll take the increased accuracy, and we'll kind of get a bit of a feel for the damage here and how it's looking. Don't love how low we're getting, but can see we're kind of at the tail end of our slumber party with all these orc pals. So not the end of the world. Holy moly. As another huge crew rolls in out of nowhere here, but nothing we can't handle. Fantastic. In fact, let's just take you buddies on a little bit of a hike here, back to our hallway of destruction, and +2 chainmail of willpower. I don't think I can say no to that. Leaves us at the same overall armor class, of course, just slightly better off in the willpower department. Is there anything else here that we should potentially partake in? No, that looks pretty solid. Hey, K-Man, welcome back. You were the one who suggested this last week, right? Or at least got our mind, the gears turning in the right direction to take on the Vinestalker of Sif Muna, the Armor Vinestalker, which it's definitely been an interesting go at things here. And I'm excited for what the rest of the run has in store, you know, providing that we can do something semi-intelligent. Ooh, this is an exciting Orc 1. Normally don't run into this kind of crew. Well, let's definitely take you on a little bit of a trip. I guess that was probably, in hindsight, a decent opportunity for us to try out some more Dragon's Call shenanigans. I mean, still might be a chance here. Let's not throw anything out the window quite yet. But yeah, it feels so strong late game. You're going to tackle another one again for extended. Nice. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. Hopefully no unfortunate death in Tartarus this time. Though poison will definitely be a tricky one on any Vinestalker. Oh my, mistakes were made here. In fact, I probably should have stayed downstairs and just gone with the Dragon's Call right off the bat, but here we are. So 17% chance to charm you with our good looks and infinite charm. Again, a little bit of that semantic oversaturation, but let's not get too hung up on it, otherwise we'll be here all day. But if I try out equipping the Fear Scroll, 79% chance of the Fear Scroll, so that's actually looking really good. Good enough that I'm going to take a couple rolls of the dice on the lower chances here. Fantastic. Just send you off this direction temporarily. And let us head back over here, shall we? And then do I just want to wait around, or are they going to come back this direction? Don't really want to leave them wandering the level without any supervision, because you know how these orc warlords get. Especially when they haven't had their beauty sleep here, but how can I better deal with you? I'd prefer not to have to use Divine Exegesis on just a single enemy, but I don't know if we really have the tools at our disposal to say otherwise. They are using a War Axe of Flaming, so I guess we could use some protection from fire and see how that goes. Oh, Poison Scroll. It's an interesting one. That's actually one of the consumables that I never quite use as often as I'd like. Specifically, they're super fun in theory, especially since they're so useless late game, that it counteracts a little bit of the too good to use syndrome that I have like a crippling issue with. So I might actually start with the poison. The ignition or the immolation is slightly scary. Does anti-magic affect his battle cry? Probably says in here, right? It's affected by silence. So I wouldn't think anti-magic, but can't recall right off the top of my head how valid that assumption is. But okie dokie, as for you, my friend, let us swap over to the Curari Dart, and actually if we can get you... Dang. If we could get them slowed, you know what, sure, let's try this. And then we just walk away. Expect them to be taking a little bit more damage from the immolation, but that's still not too bad, all things considered. Actually, yes, never mind, it worked perfectly, and we get their +2 plate armor as well. A couple more bits of armor class. I mean, I'll probably stick with the willpower for now, because Orc has a few different issues that can be defeated with the power of will, as it were. But that is a pretty potent combo for sure. I appreciate that, Repo. And let's head back this direction, I guess, and see how things are looking. We don't have electricity resistance. You son of a gun. Even saying it out loud, I still didn't quite lock into the full consequences of not having lightning resistance here. Yikes. Well, this might just have to be a fear and get the heck out of Dodge, specifically for our Zephyrmancer friend. Do you know what? I'm okay with the troll getting a few hits in while we make our way back to safety. Not too bad whatsoever. And then, you, my friend, are not a Zephyrmancer. Holy moly. It's hard to tell if the ogre or the electric damage did more. True. I'm definitely making some assumptions there. Probably could have read the log a little bit deeper in order to see, but why bother actually investigating things, getting to the facts of the matter, when I can just make a broad statement right off the bat made of completely my own assumptions and just trust that fully with my life? I don't see how that could possibly go wrong. But for you, my poisoned friend, I mean, at least you don't have quite as absurd of a weapon this time. Don't get me wrong, the greatsword is going to hit like a truck, but at least not having the +5 to hit probably does something for us. Again, I'm not actually comparing the numbers here, since I can't recall for the life of me what it was before. But let's just assume I'm right, because when have I ever been wrong, right folks? But, do we want to try and duke this out and keep going here? Or is this where we hold the brake handle a little bit and just come back when we're feeling slightly more robust, a little bit more ready to prepare the dangers of the orcish mines? Might be able to berserk him one-on-one. I do believe we could. I'd want to do that after bringing him upstairs. So I guess if we load him full of poison, then head up. I'm tempted to not even resort to berserk necessarily. Okay, it's not actually quite as dangerous as it might have otherwise seemed. Pyromancer as well here. You kids don't give up easy. Well, you, my friend, I feel a little bit more comfortable taking on, especially with that ring of fire resistance to support our journey here. And of course, once we're in melee combat with these sons of guns, that anti-magic bite will do absolute gangbusters on them, and we don't have too many issues. Scimitar of Electrocution is interesting. Yikes, yikes, yikes. 6 for just hit me. Probably took too many steps already, if we're being honest. Got a little bit stuck in my tunnel vision there, of course. So, what could we do? We could try a shatter, see if that deals enough damage. I also do want to potentially channel magic here. In fact, let's just play this one a little bit on the safe side, shall we? Phone a friend, get some dragon pals, and then let's actually, try to explore a little bit deeper here while we still have you kiddos up and running. It's risky, because if things start to go horribly wrong for us, right at the moment that our summons run out, then we may live to regret this, or more realistically, not live to regret this decision. So with that in mind, we instead just rest up a little bit here, bring ourselves back up to full fighting power. If I could bring you in, okay, maybe it was a two-headed ogre getting some double hits on us before. That's the thing about random, you never really know. And that was just Orc 1, holy moly. We lost access to Divine Exegesis as well, so we'll have to be slightly more cautious moving forward, since we don't have that as a little bit of a crutch to lean on. We'll bring ourselves up this way, and maybe let's hang out by the stairs, and we can do a little bit of dancing, just to give us the best fighting chance we possibly can here. Fantastic. What amulet do we have currently? It is just a magic regen amulet. I don't think we've found... Oops. Let's try that again. Any other amulets? No, that's the only one we found here so far. But I agree, an amulet of faith would at least give us a little bit more staying power, potentially unlocking the ability to use Divine Exegesis a bit more frequently. I do like the sound of that. It at least is intriguing. I am very much, at the moment, a fan of trying to come up with strategies and builds that kind of fully take advantage of the special use cases we have here. Well, Divine Exegesis, I don't want to immediately lose all the PD we just gained, but I think an Irradiate is going to do some work for us. And in fact, we did kill Erica there. You, my friend, are actually slightly more dangerous than I was giving you credit for. So we could just Rate of Fear. That's probably the safe bet here. Try and ensure that we get out of here in one piece. It definitely feels like a bit of a waste, but I guess we'll attribute that to the growing pains of continuing to run after a week-long break and kind of forgetting our own limitations here. So with that in mind, I think I do want to play this safe. If I can pick up this Scimitar, and protection from Cold Ring is actually quite nice as well, because that gives us some potential to actually deal with Fanaar at some point over in Lair, and the Fire Scimitar is also nice for if and when we run into any more Hydras in the future. Don't have to be quite so wary in how we take care of the problem.